We don't need to close every door now. We just need to reach out. We just need to reach out and fall into.
Our mission statement at SUUSI is to provide a one-week experience evoking the best within us. In concert with our Unitarian Universalist principles, SUUSI offers the opportunity to share an intergenerational environment of love, personal freedom, ethics, and joy in an intentional, non-judgmental community. We fall short of that mark sometimes. I think sometimes we can evoke the worst within us at SUUSI. Unfortunately, we get in a space where we've been looking forward to this all year, and we're so excited, and we're really mostly concerned about what we want from SUUSI.
I will admit that when I became director at my first core staff meeting, I looked at the core staff and I said, my number one goal is to get through 2 years of being director and still want to come back to SUUSI. And they all sort of gasped. And I said to them, look back at people who have been the directors in the past and tell me how many of them are not here anymore. Because your directors see the best of SUUSI and they see the worst of SUUSI. We get all of the feedback in its unvarnished state. And it's hard.
I am poor. I work when I go to SUUSI. And the people who pay to go to SUUSI, like, that's a privilege that I don't have. Unless you have money, you have to work to come to SUUSI. I work my tail off when I'm at SUUSI. I've been in the teen dorm for 17 years. I work my tail off when I'm at SUUSI. And I don't complain about it, but I don't get to have a whole lot of fun because I'm in the teen dorm. I love the teen dorm. I've seen all my kids grow up. They've got kids now. Like, I love the teen dorm, but it's the people who come, who pay to come. It's a vacation to them. And it's those of us who are working, it's kind of like we're at their beck and call. Like, we need to do whatever they say that we need to do. Like, we're a nursery, take care of our kid because we're here to do what we want to do. It's more than a vacation. It's a church camp as well.
Some people are on staff because that is what they are called to do. They want to serve. Maybe they don't need to financially, but they want to. Other people have to be on staff to go to SUUSI because they want to be a part of that experience, but they couldn't afford it otherwise. And when somebody who is not on staff treats somebody who's on SUUSI staff like the help, it is really harmful. SUUSI staff is part of your community. We are building this community together, and so is WCU staff. I mean, I've been treated so poorly by SUUSI participants as a SUUSI staff member.
The masking piece of the picture, it's nasty. People are saying, I'm not coming if you don't do this, and I'm not coming if you do this. And we're Unitarian Universalists. We're supposed to know gray better than black and white, and yet we behave so black and white at times. We get so entrenched. And Sarah is doing the most amazing and very difficult job. And we need to nod in her direction and say, thank you. And that's true for all of SUUSI, to nod in the direction of the staff, WCU. We need to say, thank you. Yep, coffee's not ready yet. Thank you for being here. We need to say thank you to the SUUSI staff. We need to say thank you to Sarah for the work that she's doing. It's so hard to stick your neck out and say, this is the way we're going to do this, people. And then to have your neck chopped off is just not fun. And it doesn't make you want to come back and do it again. Yeah, there's going to be different opinions. There are always different opinions about everything. You know, get 2 Unitarians in a room and you have 3 opinions, but we have to at some point say, okay, you're in charge of this. I'm going to do what you're asking me to do, because you've thought about this carefully. And I trust that you've thought about this carefully. And so I'm going to be willing to do what you're asking me to do.
Part of what I dealt with as director that hurt the most was the feedback from WCU. We are at our worst when we are hungry and trying to be fed. One concrete example is a time when someone had yelled curses at dining hall staff because their favorite pizza wasn't ready. There's only so many times you can say that behavior was not in keeping with the values that SUUSI holds before it sounds hollow. some of the worst behaviors of SUUSI participants to other SUUSI participants have been when SUUSI participants, particularly SUUSI participants of color, have been assumed to be university staff and not SUUSI participants because we're particularly ugly to the university staff. And so there are two layers of ugly in that. One is assuming someone who's a person of color is not part of SUUSI, and then the second is because they're not a part of SUUSI, I can behave in this way to them. It's two layers of ugly, and it's hurtful. It's hard to see the worst of a community that you love. It's hard to see the worst of people that you love. It is hard for me to have seen the worst of a community that has been so directly transformative to my life, to understand that that community that I love so much has caused pain. And then to be responsible for fixing it, it's really hard.
We need to be more grateful for the space that we're able to be in to build the community that we love. And it is very easy to externalize blame. Look within yourself and find what you think you need to change to be a better guest at these campuses and be a better ambassador of the Unitarian Universalist faith, because that's exactly what we are in these spaces.
I'm a person who has a number of food allergies. I have gluten and dairy and corn. Now, corn is really hard for people to sort through and find it. And my first year at Western Carolina, I was not very nice. I was scared and tired and hungry. I went into the food line and they couldn't tell me what was in the food because he didn't know. I said, some things like, well, you should know, this is your job. You should be the person. And I wish I could go back to him now and apologize and say, I'm really sorry. I was tired and hungry, and I was not being very nice to you, and I will work really hard at being nice in the future. That excuse making was there. I can see it. I was tired and hungry. I was kind of making an excuse, but so I need to practice that too, to say, I'm sorry, I'll work on that without the excuse behind there. It would have been helpful if someone had been standing next to me and said, I hear you, you're having a hard time. Let's walk over here and see if we can figure out a way to solve this problem. And then maybe somebody else would be standing there and say to the guy who was behind the counter with the chickens, I'm really sorry. We're working on that. And we're going to try and have that happen less often if we can eliminate it altogether. But so it would actually take two of those people, one somebody to tend to my frustration, and somebody to sort of say, look, we're working on this and we hope it gets better, but we're trying really hard, so that the staff doesn't feel like we're just blowing them smoke all the time, it's so easy to do, to just get into that entitled mindset.
The people are at the heart of SUUSI. Like, the core of SUUSI is the people. We don't always get it right, but we are the heart of SUUSI, and we can get it right, and we can pulse and live. And I think that's what makes SUUSI live, is if we are willing to beat at the same time. I love SUUSI because you breathe.
Into the arms of love, into the arms of love, into love's arms.